This is part 6 of our summer 2021 cruise, and in this part we'll be visiting Portsmouth and Gosport. We've just enjoyed a stay on the Isle of Wight, and now we're heading over to Portsmouth for a couple of weeks. We're going to be staying at Haslar Marina in Gosport.
Well, that was a very windy departure. Its forecast is 7s, 4 to 6s with 7s until later, with a moderate sea. Obviously we're in sheltered waters here between the Isle of Wight and Portsmouth, but it's still windy. There's white horses on the river.
This time we're going to be taking the dredged channel to the east of the breakwater.
Okay, we're just going through the narrow north or east channel, keeping one eye on the depth. Currently about 3.8 metres. Traffic again, always traffic. That's Osborne House Beach.
Yeah.
Well, the wind has died down a little bit inside Portsmouth Harbour, but it's still a bit strong. In situations like this, there really is no shame in asking for help when you're mooring up, so we radioed ahead to the marina and they've sent some staff to help us with the lines. Well, thank goodness for bow and stern thrusters. Haslar Marina, next day. Sun's out, aircon's on. Well, this is Haslar Marina. It's right opposite the Spinnaker Tower, which is really the centre of Portsmouth. And the other end of Haslar Marina, you've got the Royal Navy Submarine Museum. I'm going on a cycle ride to explore Gosport. I'm going to see Gilkicker Point, which we sailed past on the way into the harbour.
Gilkicker Point, looking towards Cowes and Southampton.
Haslar Marina is actually part of the same marina group as our home moorings in Portishead, so we're able to stay here for free. So we're going to spend a couple of weeks in Portsmouth and just exploring.
There's this psychiatrist, Doctor.
It's huge, absolutely huge. There we are, there's a sail flyer. All the way down Southsea, past Eastleigh, past Premier Marina, and yeah, can't go any further. Okay, this is the last surviving D-Day landing craft that carries tanks to Gold Beach on D-Day. Carries 10 tanks. Wow, 59 metres long. It took them only 3 months to build it. How about that? This is the entrance, just behind me over here, to Portsmouth Harbour. So you can see in the distance, you can see by the green lightship, that's our boat, that's Wanderlust. See along the coast here, at the end there, that's Gilkicker Point, where I was the other day. And in the background behind that, that's the Isle of Wight. This is the Isle of Wight ferry coming into the entrance of Portsmouth Harbour. And there's us in the background. Gunwharf Quays. And this is Gunwharf Quays Marina. All the fashion boutiques, top end shops, you name it. It's all there. Jewellers, fashion, perfumes, shops I never go in. And there's a Spinnaker Tower. Vernon Mine, Warfare and Diving Monument.
Well, now it's only a very short walk to the other end of the marina to look at the Royal Navy Submarine Museum and HMS Alliance.
HMS Alliance.
HMS Alliance is a diesel electric submarine, so it's not nuclear. They can't generate their own air, so they burn an oxygen candle to introduce oxygen. Amazing. Well, behind these curtains on the left-hand side here, that's where all the bunks are. About 3 deep there, and this is one of the messes. There's a lot of stuff on the internet about HMS Alliance, so no point in me repeating everything. It's very fascinating. Well worth going and have a look. Last time I was here, the submarine was quite busy, but because it's COVID, I've got almost to myself. One interesting fact I was told by the guide last time I was here was that they actually floated this boat in position in 1981. That must have been some high tide. The galley doesn't seem a lot bigger than what we have on Wanderlust, and this feeds nearly 70 crew. They can actually take the cylinder head off each individual cylinder whilst the engine's running. That's amazing. Now, I'm fascinated by submarines and I try and understand everything I can about them. But I had to laugh when I heard, as we came in, someone asked the guide, are these doors, like the one you see now, are these the only way in and out of the submarine? Next up the Submarine Museum, we have an X-Class submarine, X-24. This is the only surviving X-Class submarine that saw service in World War II.
Here we are, this is one of the last remaining midget submarine from World War II. What you don't appreciate is through that porthole there, is between the 2 bulkheads, is where the diver used to go up out of the submarine to cut all the nets and things like that. Tiny little hatch. Amazing. Now on this side of the submarine, we still got one of the, it's obviously a mock-up. This was a couple of tons of high explosive, 2 more tons the other side, and this is what they dropped as part of their mission. And then having released that, they then get the hell out of there, basically.
There's plenty to see at the museum, including a very dangerous looking helmet, which is a closed circuit rebreather system. Here is something which you really must take a look at. This is HMS Holland, or Holland 1. This boat sunk on the way to the scrapyard in 1913. It was raised in 1982, and the restoration process has resulted in it being kept in a humidity and temperature controlled room. So it's rather warm in here, warm and dry, but it's stopping it rusting any further. This is one of the original batteries which was recovered from the seafloor. Well, apparently it still works. That used to power the boat to 7 knots for 20 miles underwater.
It's the Holland one. I went in there last time, but at the moment, of course, because it's COVID, can't go in there. Shame. The first submarine of the Royal Navy. 1901 it was built. Here we are. It's a propeller. Wow, you say, so what? But, reading the plaque here, this propeller is from HMS Repulse, which was a Resolution class submarine built in 1968. And that propeller there, all the development, that cost £3 million back in 1968. So that is something special. Wow, there we go. The question you've got to ask yourself is, would you go inside that at 1,500 feet deep? Crash at that depth is something astronomical. I don't know if I'd want to do it.
During our time in Portsmouth, we're going to be going over to the Historic Dockyard. We're going over on the ferry. There's lots to see. We're going to start at the Mary Rose Museum. We've never been here before, and it's absolutely amazing what they did. This has been hauled up from the bottom of the Solent and preserved, dried out and put on display with all the artefacts. It served for 33 years before sinking with 500 crew on board, right outside the harbour. King Henry VIII was watching. Anyway, the Mary Rose is probably more famous now for its salvage operation, when 60 million people watched it on TV, including me. Remember that? For over 30 years, the wooden timbers of the vessel were continually sprayed with water to aid in the restoration process, but since about 2017, it's now been open air to the public, and you can walk above and actually smell the wood now.
Yeah, we see the airlock.
We're now in the environmentally controlled section, and the smell is very different. You can smell, it's a bit of a woody smell, I suppose, dry. Obviously environmentally controlled to preserve the wood, so there's no glass now between us and the boat, and yeah, that's it. It's the Mary Rose.
Part of the Historic Dockyard tour involves a cruise around the harbour to look at some of the warships. Particularly interesting because at this time the HMS Prince of Wales is in dock. That's one of our aircraft carriers. If you want to get this close to the aircraft carriers, you have to go on the official harbour tour. These police patrol vessels stop anyone else getting anywhere near.
Around the world. It's called the Beach Club in Bimini in the Bahamas.
This is the Scarlet Lady, which is a Virgin Voyages cruise ship. Cruise ships are not my idea of a holiday. I think I'd rather stick to the Nordhavn. That's the harbour tour over. Let's go see something else. One of the attractions at the Historic Dockyard is HMS Warrior. This is well worth seeing. This was quite a groundbreaking ship when it was launched. It was built as a deterrent and never saw action.
Highly recommend.
You definitely don't want to overlook HMS Warrior. It's fascinating. What makes this so special is that the characters, the people, the guides on board are actually in period costumes and speak as if it was 1863. You can book a trip to go up to the observation deck of the Spinnaker Tower. We've done this before, a couple of years ago, and it's worth coming back again because it is spectacular up here. is a small section of glass floor, if you dare stand on it.
Long way down.
Wow, what a view. Yes, it is a long way down. It's a good day, excellent visibility. You can see for miles. Guess where we are today?
Victory.
Can you guess?
Victory.
You're giving it away now.
Victory.
You're giving it away.
HMS Victory, commissioned in 1778 and still in active service. As you walk around Victory, you can hear everything you need to know on these portable handsets. Fascinating stuff. This is one of the gun decks, where some of the 104 guns are held. Not only that, it also doubles as sleeping quarters for the 850 crew on board. We did visit Victory in 2019 as part of our cruise that year, but this time they've opened up underneath the boat where you can go down and see the hull. Now, I wouldn't want to anti-foul this. It's a lot bigger than Wanderlust. Of course, back in the day, the hull of the ship would have been clad in copper sheets.
Well, that's Victory. Absolutely amazed again how good that is. This time I've come out of the boat at a different exit because now the dry dock is actually explore that as well. So seeing underneath of the boat is quite a good new thing to see. Wow, 1805, Battle of Failure. Not that long ago, and to think that's how they fought battles. Absolutely gruesome. You hear the narration, how they used to fight, how awful conditions, how brutal it was, amazing.
Well, that concludes our visit to Portsmouth Historic Dockyard. Definitely well worth seeing. Well, we've enjoyed our stay at Haslar Marina. There's been a few close calls with visiting boats and enough to keep on your toes, but altogether a great time. Be sure to join us in part 7 of this video. We'll be heading back west. We're hoping to stop off at some places that we haven't been to before.